Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So before I get into the topic of today's video, I do just want to say for my subscribers that this is a wig. In my last video I had bright red hair, so obviously this is quite the change. Now all of a sudden I have short blonde hair, but it is not real, it is a wig. I just felt like being blonde, so I ordered a cheap wig on Amazon, and honestly I'm kind of feeling it. I feel like it looks oddly natural. I don't know, you guys gotta let me know. Do I look good as blonde? I don't know. I can't really tell, but I'm having fun with it. Maybe blondes do have more fun. I don't know. I've been blonde before, but I don't know if I've ever been this blonde, and I've never had like this short hair. Is it a look? I don't know. Anyway, let's get into today's video. So today I'm going to be talking about a topic that is very interesting and fascinating to me, and probably is to you too if you know about this topic. It's probably one of my favorite conspiracy theories, if you want to call it that, because it's more of a phenomenon, but the way it is sometimes interpreted is more like a conspiracy theory. So yes, I am going to be talking about the Mandela Effect. So if you do not know what the Mandela Effect is, it first got its name from Nelson Mandela, who many people remembered dying in prison, when in fact he did not die in prison. He got out of prison, he died after he was out of prison and free. So where the conspiracy kind of comes in is that while some people believe it's just a coincidence of mass misremembering, some people believe that in a parallel universe, Nelson Mandela did die, and that's what everyone's remembering. For me, I don't know how everyone could have that same specific memory about the same person, but that's just me. But anyway, that is where the term the Mandela Effect came from, and since then there have been many more examples of the Mandela Effect. Some you may know, some you may not, some you may be very surprised by, but I thought it'd be fun to go through some of the most popular ones today. I found an article that listed 50. I'm not going to do all 50, but I will link below the article in the description for you to go and check out all of the examples of the Mandela Effect if you would like. But yeah, let's just get in. So the first one is Jif versus Jiffy. Even though the name of your peanut butter doesn't quite matter when you're biting down into a delightful PB&J, some people swear that the peanut butter was actually named Jiffy and not just Jif. Speculators think that people might be getting Jiffy confused with the competing brand Skippy. So I personally think that this is just a coincidence because it makes sense. They're both together in the same section of your grocery store. I think that it would be very plausible for our brains to just kind of combine them. My first dog was named Skippy after the peanut butter, so I feel like that makes sense to me why people got that confused. I thought it was Jiffy. For my whole life I thought it was Jiffy. It just sounds better. So I do think that this is an example of where we all just kind of got it mixed up. They should change it, honestly. Jiffy's just so much better, but that's just my opinion. So the next one is Oscar Mayer versus Oscar Mayer. You know the jingle, my bologna has a first name, it's O-S-C-A-R, however, spelling out your bologna's second name is under scrutiny. Some people insist the second lyric of the famous jingle, Meyer, is spelled with an E instead of an A. So I always knew it was an A because my last name is spelled the second way. My last name is spelled M-E-Y-E-R, so I would have known if it was spelled the same, and I knew it wasn't, so I always knew it was M-A-Y-E-R, but maybe it just looks better the second way to people. I don't know. I always knew it was the first way, so once again, I think that's just a coincidence. Maybe it just looks better the second way to most people. So the next one is the famous HBO show Isn't Sex in the City. The correct name of the show is Sex and the City, but people have sworn they've seen legitimate merchandise with the show name spelled otherwise. I always thought it was Sex in the City too. I just think it looks better and sounds better and makes more sense. Sex and the City? But Sex in the City. It should be Sex in the City, right? It just doesn't really make sense to be Sex and the City. I'm not a big fan of the show. I actually really dislike the show. I've seen it and I just couldn't get into it personally. I thought it was kind of boring. I swore I always saw Sex in the City, but it could just be because I think it makes more sense. I think it looks better. But you guys gotta let me know. I always thought it was Sex in the City. Number 4. Of the world. Legendary rock band Queen song We Are the Champions is usually heard at every triumphant sports moment, but it ends a lot differently than most people can recall. Some people swore that the singer Freddie Mercury belt out the lyric of the world at the end, but in reality, the original recording simply ends with no time for losers because we are the champions. This one has me stumped because I remember so many moments of it ending of the world. It's got to be in the song at some point, and I guess I just always thought it was the end. Weird. The Monopoly Man doesn't have a monocle. Perhaps people are confusing him with Mr. Peanut, the Planter Peanuts mascot, who also wears a top hat and carries around a cane like the Monopoly Man, but there are a number of concerned citizens, this is a serious issue, guys, who can't seem to grasp how the Monopoly Man is monocleless when they've distinctly remembered him wearing one. He had one. This is one where there's no question, like, he had one. I played this game all the time as a kid, and he had one. I remember him having one. Like, I just don't even know how to explain that because it's just so random. I mean, I guess we could have confused it with the peanut guy, but I didn't eat peanuts. I barely saw that guy, that mascot. So I'm just saying, I think this one is one of those situations where in a parallel universe he had one, but maybe he didn't want to copy the Mr. Peanut guy, and so they took it off. Pikachus Tail. Some 90s kids clearly remember black detailing on the Pokemon character's tail, however, in reality, it's just yellow. This one weirds me out because I was not a big Pikachu fan, but I remember him having black detailing on his tail, and it's just so random. Why? He's a fictional character, so why would we all just misremember black detailing on his tail? It's just so weird and random. It makes no sense. Leonardo DiCaprio's Oscar wins. Despite winning his first Oscar award in 2016 for his role in The Revenant, which is an amazing movie by the way, many people believed that he had won for his other films like Titanic and What's Eating Gilbert Grape. So, I don't remember him winning. I felt like it was like such a big deal when he won because everyone knew he didn't win, so I don't know where this one came from. I was shocked to see this one, so that's why I thought I would include it, because I thought everyone knew he didn't win, and that's why it was such a big deal when he did win, and it was like this meme. But yeah, you guys should let me know if you remember him winning. I never did, but those movies were so old, so I wouldn't have remembered that. Darth Vader doesn't say, "Luke, I am your father." Luke, I am your father is probably one of the greatest misremembered lines in Star Wars and cinematic history. However, the line is simply, "No, I am your father."
No, I am your father. No!
I am not a Star Wars fan. I've only seen the Star Wars that this line is in, and the one thing I remember about that movie is that line. It's just such an iconic line, and it's very specific. I don't know how people could have just coincidentally misremembered a whole name. Like, Luke and no don't sound that similar, and it's just such a huge scene and moment, and it's referenced in so many other movies.
No, Buzz. I am your father.
Life isn't always like a box of chocolates. Forrest Gump might have been one of Tom Hanks' most memorable roles with one of the most misremembered lines. It seems that the majority of film buffs remembered Forrest Gump stating that his mama always said, "Life is like a box of chocolates." Turns out that he actually said life was like a box of chocolates. Maybe Tom Hanks is actually a time traveler. So this one really weirds me out because I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I've seen it so many times. I actually saw it not that long ago. I swore he said is, but it could be an instance where it just makes more sense and it just sounds better, it sounds catchier. Life was like a box, like, it just doesn't sound right. It sounds wrong. I swore he said is, but if you're not really paying attention, you're just watching the movie, you're just, you know, you're not really looking for it, maybe your brain just fixes it because it's just like your brain knows like it sounds way better.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Kit Kat versus Kit Kat. Kit Kat may look correct to you, and you are not alone in thinking so. However, the classic chocolate bar has never had a hyphen in between Kit and Kat. The correct way to spell it is actually Kit Kat. I swore it had a hyphen. This is another one, I swore it had a hyphen, but it could just be that it looks better with a hyphen. It's just so weird because, like, it never had any space between it. Like, what? My brain is just gonna explode. Like, why is there no hyphen? Mr. Rogers' theme song. You've probably sang along with Mr. Rogers as he opened his show with this lovable theme song. Most former kids remember him singing, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood," but the lyric actually goes like, "It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood."
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
This is another one where it's just like the tiniest change. It's just a word different, but I remember that also. It just sounds better. I think this is kind of like Forrest Gump. Like, it just sounds better as the, and we're not paying attention. We're just singing along, just watching. Hello, Clarice. Does your hair crinkle up on the back of your neck every time you think of Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs? In an iconic scene, Hopkins greets Jodie Foster, who plays Clarice. Some people swear that he greets her with "Hello, Clarice," but in actuality, he simply says, "Good morning." No, he does not. I saw this movie a few years ago for the first time, and he said "Hello, Clarice" because I knew about the iconic line. I was waiting for it, and he said it. I swore I remembered him saying it because I remember thinking like, ooh. And how does "Good morning" sound anything like "Hello, Clarice"? This is one of the ones that weirds me out the most. It's high up on my list because how? How did people remember "Hello, Clarice" in the same tone? Tell me how. The only explanation is that it's a parallel universe.
Good morning.
The Fruit of the Loom logo. Do you remember the Fruit of the Loom logo stitch on the back of your undies? If you're recalling a cornucopia with fruit spilling out of it, you may be living in a parallel dimension. The original logo is just a pile of fruit. Once again, I remember the cornucopia. In all the commercials, they always had it. And that's just so random. It's just so random. I don't know where that would have come from. Why? And that was like the biggest part of it. Why is it gone? Why is the cornucopia missing? In other fruit-related news, Fruit Loops versus Fruit Loops. You know that deliciously fruity kid cereal with the happy toucan on the box? Many people remember it being spelled Fruit Loops, but it's always been spelled Fruit Loops. No. I guess, no. It makes sense for them to spell it wrong with the two O's because they're circles. But no, I used to really like Fruit Loops, and I swore it was spelled like fruit. But that's the correct spelling, so maybe our brains just fix it. No. Curious George's Tale. Think back to your childhood when you read the Curious George books or watched the cartoon on TV. Do you remember a tale? Yes. If you do, you may be secretly a time traveler bouncing between parallel universes. Curious George is tailless. I remember a tail. Anytime I see pictures, it just looks wrong without the tail. But I think that it's one of those things where our brain corrects what we feel looks wrong, and it looks wrong for him to not have a tail because monkeys typically have tails. It's weird. I remember a tail. He looks so weird without one, but I guess he never had one. In this universe, I guess. So this is the one that gets me the absolute most. I can't comprehend it. The Berenstain Bears versus the Berenstain Bears. Everyone remembers the lovable bear family who lived in a tree and taught us lessons like the importance of kindness, but their name is up for debate. Some folks seem to recall the book series and the cartoon being known as the Berenstain Bears, because it was. If you look now, they're actually called the Berenstain Bears. Mind blown. Yes. These were my absolute favorite books as a kid. I remember reading them all the time at home, at school. I remember teachers reading them. And it was always Berenstain. Always. And I cannot find a way to rationalize it other than believing that it's a parallel universe, because it was always Steen, always. And I think I've even seen people post pictures where it did say Steen. I will put them on the screen if I can find those, but it was always Berenstain. And I remember I had some at my old house and I went down to the basement to check. That's how mind blown I was by this. And it said Stain and I just lost it. I was like, who changed it? It was always Steen to me, and it will still be. I'm never gonna see the Berenstain Bears. What the heck? This is another one that really freaks me out. The Evil Queen's Mirror. No matter how old you are, chances are that you've seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs at least once. In the beginning of the film, if you remember the Evil Queen's infamous line of "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all," you may be in the Mandela Effect. The actual line is "Magic mirror on the wall." Why? Why did we remember Mirror, mirror? And it is one of the most iconic lines ever. How? How did we mix that up?
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
Mirror, mirror on the wall, is this not the most perfect kingdom of them all?
And I think that is the last one. So is your mind blown? Mine is. Some of these I do think are just a coincidence. Some of them just look better the way we remember. But some, like Hello Clarice, like the Berenstain Bears, I just can't rationalize it. I can't. But let me know, what is the weirdest one to you? Do you think that there is a parallel universe and that explains some of these? Or do you think it's just a coincidence and we're just all misremembering? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this where I talk about conspiracy theories or honestly anything fascinating to you. Let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope your mind was blown just a little bit at least. And I will see you in my next video. Bye. In an iconic, I can't say it. In an iconic scene, is it obvious that I can't say it? In an iconic scene, oh I got it, oh and then I messed it up. Damn it.